Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I do not celebrate when some of my predictions come true, especially when those predictions are of negative effects, which is, well, I predict this negative thing will happen, and it happened. I don't celebrate that. I'm just angry that it happened, and it was obvious that it will happen, and these guys did not, try to, not because I said it, but it was too obvious, and they were, they kept going with it. In this case, there's something very dangerous occurring, which is certain thoughts that are spoken in public are promoted as discussions in the public, which should be by the media. When certain kind of ideas and certain kind of statements are brought into the, how should I put it, in the forefront of the conversation or our ability to find it, and they're promoted or they're discussed, then you realize that things are even greater than, okay, this guy said that one. It's much more. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Russian possibility, something that I spoke on many occasions, that a Russian possibility of detonating an atomic bomb as an example for the West to back off. I said that on a few of my videos already. My friends who might be watching me frequently remember that. And I said the Russians might use, at one point, some nuclear weapons and low intensity in Ukraine on some land, some wasted land, some where there's no people, some fields, I don't know. Just an example, just a warning. The next one could be, on someone else or something else. I said this, they will reach that point where they might start doing that. And what's going to happen? Those guys are going to have to stop. They have to stop and talk. Russia talk with the United States of America, not with Ukraine. And these guys are just used. So here we have a guy, not of great importance. He was a retired Russian colonel. You say, well, Jesus Christ, and whatever. Just think about it. It is in the media what he said about the exact thing I'm saying, and I've been saying a few times already before, but he chooses the North Pole as the detonation site. So here it is. This article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine, July 22nd, 2023. Retired Russian colonel proposes blowing up the North Pole to send message to the West. I said this maybe a year ago the first time, maybe in the first 2 months after this, so let's say in April, May last year or something. I said the Russians might do this, detonate, blow up a location in Ukraine, I said, on some cornfields or whatever, on the radius of some, I understand the consequences of that, but I'm just saying they might do that, just to say back the fuck off. Anyway, retired Russian colonel Konstantin Sivkov, who serves as the deputy president of the Russian Academy of Rocket and Artillery Science, has put forth the idea of detonating nuclear weapons, plural, at the North Pole, and I'm quoting, if necessary, as a way to convey a message to the West in a statement on Russian state-run TV. So this is not, a weasel like me, all right? This guy has and had, a position in the Russian society. And he's saying this. During his speech, Sivkov called for the political potential deployment of nuclear weapons and showcasing their presence at the North Pole as a demonstration under certain circumstances. And I'm quoting him. If the situation escalates to an extremely critical stage, we could consider demonstrating a detonation, say, at the North Pole, end quote, he said. Okay, well, and I'm quoting him again. Similar to what we did with the thermonuclear aerial bomb with a power of 58 megatons on Novoya Zemlya, where the test went as planned, provoking effective and sending a powerful educational message, end quote. Sivkov emphasized his desire for Russia to prioritize the, and I'm quoting, intensive mass-scale development of strategic nuclear weapons, arguing that such armament would provide protection, and I'm quoting right now, against any possible encroachments of the Russian Federation. He further advocated for Russia to adopt, and I'm quoting, unconventional forms of using nuclear weapons, end quote. That is for Poland, specifically referring to, I'm quoting, high powerful nuclear munitions capable of causing severe geophysical consequences, such as supervolcano explosions. You can say, man, this guy is out of his mind. Well, if a rat is cornered, he's going to bite the cat. Therefore, the deployment of these nuclear weapons is, of course, and I'm quoting Sivkov, necessary. So he is all for it. And I'm quoting again, it's a pivotal matter. I strongly believe, I'm quoting all this, that transitioning to intensive deployment is strategically imperative, end quote. Russian officials have repeatedly made nuclear threats, blah, blah, blah. No, okay, that's, you can ignore all this right here. But anyway, they push that. So my friends, if this guy, retired colonel in charge of this and that, goes and have a little speech on the TV in Russia, the Ukrainians picked this speech. The Reuters weasels and others will pick New Voice of Ukraine, I think it is. Little thing, yeah. You're gonna hear from it. I know, and I guarantee you that this kind of speech, even worse, is uttered. It's really, in play, how should I put it, in the society. It's there, but it was not picked and broadcast to the world like that. So when certain kind of ideas come and get promoted like that, that means they're either something that is spoken about or is, I don't want to say endorsed, but do you think that anybody told this guy, well, that's great on the TV panel, whatever it was over there, do you think it's crazy, Mr. Colonel? Or they were like, either not saying anything, or some would say, yeah, we can do that, but what do you think happened? Yeah, and what the West is going to say about it? Oh, he's just a crazy guy. The Russians would not do that. How do you know that? Remember, these guys portrayed Putin as a madman. What's his name? Zelensky called him a psychopath and crazy and irrational and so on. Well, an irrational person, a psychopath and madman, a crazy guy, he used other epithets to refer to Putin, but doesn't matter. If he really believes that, and he said, well, Putin decided to kill us all, Zelensky said. What stopped him? If that is true, you can't make Putin as being so powerful as they made him. Oh my God, nobody moves over there. A fly has to sing, I don't know, Putin's song or something, let alone everybody else. He's so knowing all, doing all evil. He has so much power. He's crazy. He's out of his mind. Somehow he's out of his mind, with legal diagnostic right there. And he is still not nuking these guys. How is that possible? How is that logic? Well, I heard this kind of story regarding another guy in history where, again, he was a crazy guy, but he was what? And you can't have it both. If you say someone is crazy and irrational and is this and that, but he's somehow not doing that. So he has what? A spirit of self-protection, or what's going on here? How do you have? I know a madman, a crazy person, doesn't think about the consequences, just does things, good or bad. In his head, there's no, it's not even blurry. There's no, oh, that's good, that's bad, does it. That's how crazy person, crazy. Let's put it this way. I don't want to say mentally ill, because mental illness has stages and all that. But how crazy as these guys portray Putin, and a criminal, and he's all evil. What do you think that if... Do you think, let's ask this question, do you think, let's say Russia detonates low-intensity nuclear weapons in their craziness somewhere in the field, cornfield in Ukraine? What do you think the West will do? Oh, the ones who said, well, that's going to be the end of Russia, well, let me give you this. Okay, how is that going to be the end of Russia? Well, we're going to nuke them. All right, what are they gonna do? Just take it like a lady of the night without being paid though? Or they will nuke you. Oh, we're gonna destroy all the 7,500 nuclear warheads that Russia has, including the submarines that are around the United States. Okay? So you understand, they're not gonna do shit. Why? Because these guys are gonna escalate and they're gonna bye-bye. Now, you and I, we have our little wealth here, we have our little hanky-panky thing, but there are over there interests that have historical interest. They have material interest, power interest. They have families with, goddammit, coat of arms in their big mansions. Those guys don't want to lose their lives for Zelensky, not even Zelensky, for whatever. No, they will stop because they're rational. So they will say, okay, yeah, why don't you nuke them? Because they know if they nuke the Russians, and Russians will nuke them. Or the Russians don't even have to send their missiles to the United States. They just say, detonate it on our territory, and this plant is going to be exploding, or cracking, or dead. So they don't have to even send it anywhere. But hey, you speak with idiots. So my friends, it's a very crazy talk, and if it's right now right here in the open, that means they are talking about it. They're talking about it. And I'm sorry that this fulfills something, as I said many times, and I said, this is going to happen, my friends. This is going to happen. If they get cornered, they will do it. Or if they get sick of, all right, let's stop the little bullshit here. I hope it doesn't happen and these guys come to their senses. The problem is these guys are still, oh no, they won't do it. Oh no, they're just macho. They're just, no. They play with our lives because these guys here, Biden, he has authority over our lives supposedly, or the ones around him. They dictate if we are alive or we're dead by this decision. You can't dictate that to anybody else over there. But if they say, okay, we're gonna send you to see Jesus, bye, not me, but you're gonna see whomever. They can do that. They have the power over our lives through their idiotic decisions. But they will not do it. Why? But they're pushing it. And sometimes there are unforeseeable circumstances and consequences. I hope they don't get to that one. I'm talking about the Russians. That's why go and talk with those guys and you're gonna find a common denominator for the good of the people. But it's all about money, power, interest, domination, and Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.